Hi, welcome to Delicate Dark Girl. Today, we're doing a Get Ready With Me, the first one of the season. Oh, well, I guess you've seen the other one by now. Anyway, but we're going to do some experimental makeup today. I really wanted to experiment. You know what, let's talk and do this at the same time. Let's start with the base. So this is the Black Radiance. That I'm almost, ooh. You guys see it all the time, don't you? Anyway, I really wanted to experiment with doing a different makeup style than my normal. And this isn't about like doing glam versus what I usually do. It's more about staying within my genre of everyday, daily Bang makeup, but changing some techniques. I don't mean technique like skills. I mean like just changing like literal technical points. So for instance, you'll see what I mean as we keep going. Today I'm going to use this Full Spectrum CoverGirl Matte Ambition. I've swatched it and tested it on my face, but I haven't actually worn it on my face, if that makes sense. This is one of two powder foundations that I own recently. I had them in the past, but then I kind of I used to prefer powder, especially when I was living in Baltimore. Powder was really good for my younger, more oily skin, especially in the summertime. Anyway, so we're going to go in here. This is Deep Cool 4. I'm going to go with this powder brush. It's Sonia Kushak! I got it for, if you won't believe, it was either $4 or $6 because it was on a clearance sale because the Target was remodeling. So much stuff was on clearance sale and I went bananas. It comes with a little silicone sponge and the little mirror in the bottom. Hi. So we're just going to powder. The only problem with the mirror on the bottom is, you know, you gotta get more product and the Maybelline is the other one that I got. Maybelline Stay. That one made my skin really like soft looking. This one isn't really doing anything for the texture of my skin. Maybe it's the combination of primer and powder. It's not complementing it. I mean, the color's nice though. It's got some good coverage. So that's Full Spectrum. I don't know. And oh, this is the 100. I don't tell you about brushes. Get out of here. Let's move on. We're gonna change eyebrows. So you know I like following the natural shape or making them rounder, and usually I only change the shape if I plan to do one of my little cosplay things. Okay, as the foundation settles, like when you're putting it on, it's a little Wild and Crazy Kids. Well, me, as I was putting it on, it was a little Wild and Crazy Kids. But as it settles, it's actually looking better. I like the color a lot. Anyway, instead of following the natural curve, I'm going to make them. I always round them, so I guess what would be different from rounding is making them straighter. Let's come in a little closer. Hi. And I guess not minimizing them. I minimize them a lot. My biggest concern is that it won't look nice, but you know, that's what's interesting about challenging yourself with new things, because you've already convinced yourself that you know what looks good on your face due to trial and error. So you're not really leaving yourself open to much else. And normally that's fine. That's pretty straight, isn't it? Except for the end there, but you know, you don't really leave much room for much else. Let's try to attempt this side now. Well, this one's going to be harder because this arch is so high because it's so thin back here. We don't really leave ourselves room for much else simply because we've told ourselves that we shouldn't. I don't know. I want to try to break myself out of that today. And I know there isn't much, you know, because the whole point is to be limitless. And I know I don't really limit myself much when it comes to colors or like where to put stuff, like products I use or anything like that. It's more just like technique wise, I prefer doing some things, but I want to experiment with basically some different shapes. That one didn't come out as straight as I wanted it to. So I hope this video encourages you to, maybe you don't take as many, maybe you're not as open to colors or anything like that. I'm straighter now, but then it got small. Alright, we'll just make this other one smaller. Maybe you're not open to colors as I am, or maybe you feel like you have to put on certain things. Like now I've experimented with not doing eyeliner. I've done eyeliner since I was like 17, but I experimented with not doing eyeliner, and now I can, you know, I can definitely leave the house without eyeliner. Even if I have a full face of makeup on. So we're going to use Walzana and try to make these eyebrows as straight as possible. But yeah, so that's what we're doing here. We're really just trying to keep pushing ourselves into limitless territory. Let's just go straight along the bottom. Straight, straight. It's about to get real quiet while I fight with my eyebrows. Okay, so those are my straight-ish eyebrows. I mean, obviously with the exception of the ends. Fill in the blanks. Oh, there we go. Fill in the blanks. Oh. I'm going to focus on the middle and the back. Okay, cool. So now I'm gonna start eyeshadow. What I normally do is open up this space from here, like from the bridge of the top bridge of my nose all the way up into my eyebrow. I just really like that being nice and open. That's why I conceal under there, the shadow from my brow and everything. But what we're gonna do is actually close it off with the top of the nose. We're gonna like contour just a bit, like up here, just to compartmentalize the face, I guess, just as something different. And I'm gonna use Kafuru because the base will be yoded. I feel like if you want to delicately contour, instead of doing the standard 2 to 3 shades darker than your face, just go 1 shade, right? And make it really look like a shadow on your face. Like, look, if I go like that, if I go like that, it's an extreme shadow. And even that, it's still not as dark as people usually make it. See where my finger is? It's really not that dark. Anyway, so let's experiment with this. So we'll take it from the eyebrow and we'll take it right here. See? This is only probably, I think Kafuru is 1 shade, like 1 sliver of a shade darker than my actual skin. Look at that. You can barely tell the difference between me and Kafuru, but when you put it straight on, it gives that shadow that you're looking for. And I'm using a little flat top brush. I don't really know what it's for, but it's really convenient when I want to do my cosplay makeup for creating little shadows like this. So here we are, carving out our eyes. We're going right up in here and creating some, I guess you can call it dimension. And I'm not minimizing it either. I don't know if you'll choose to do that. It's your face, do what you want. But I'm just saying I'm not really minimizing it, so you'll notice I'm not really going in far. If you're trying to minimize the bridge, I think you have to go in a little further, but then keep the same technique, like, you know, following the natural lines of your face and then just kind of going a little further than that. So I'm just moving it into the corner to like, so that it's not just a little line sitting there, kind of window washing underneath the brow right there, creating more shadows. Oh, seems uneven. Okay, see that? So I've created that shadow very minimally. So we're just gonna buff it out there. It's weird when you stop up there, but I guess we'll just go down a little further. Still using Kafuru, so it's a gentle contour. And we're just gonna stipple it where my nose already creases, so that we're not really contouring, I guess. 'Cause it's just defining it. Isn't that what contouring is? I don't know. There, so that the line doesn't just stop. And there, now we've created some definition right up in there. But anyway, so now we've created a little definition. Gentle contour. It definitely propped up my nose in its natural shape, so I mean, that's nice. But you can see that, right? You can see the difference. So think about that. One shade away, like one shade darker than your skin tone. Even like half a step, really, to create a natural, very, very subtle, defining shadow. Now, we're gonna do Yodit. And we're not gonna go in here like we usually do. We're just gonna keep it right on the lid. It's part of trying something new here. Alright. Okay, woohoo! Moving on in the eyes. We'll go in our cargo palette. Oh yeah, that was the Warrior too, as always. It's just a perfect thing for when you're, for daily stuff and like doing base things. So inside this palette, in the cargo, we'll use Kawaii, where is it? There. Yeah, Kawaii and Harajuku. And then Cherry and maybe Blossom. Okay? I think we'll just stay with Kawaii. We're going to put Kawaii all over the lid using a shimmer as a base. I've done it before, but it's not something that I normally do. But what I really don't do is to take the shimmer down here too much beyond the waterline. But that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's bring you in a little closer. In the spirit of doing things we don't normally do. You see? And so to me, that already looks a little messy on my eye. I think maybe for a different eye type, it's cuter, but we're trying to keep our minds open. That's the point of this. When you bring it all the way in, it's not so bad. It's a little wild. It's okay. This is just the base. And there we go. We're just gonna rub some of that away. Okay, so now we have the shimmer all over the eye. And now we're going to put some Blossom. So usually when I start doing like shimmer colors, it goes here and it goes here and then maybe on the waterline. So like in that one that I did for the 12 Days of Christmas, putting the shimmer on top of the matte went on top of the shimmer. We're just going to put another shimmer on top of the shimmer. Ooh. Ah, hold on. Let me change the color so you can see what's happening. Alright, so anyway. And then down here. Okay. Woohoo! I like that. So most of the color is focused out here. Maybe I'll put a little in here, but that's what I always do, and that's what we're trying to get away from, isn't it? We always put the highlight in the corner, don't we? Let's just keep something for continuity. So we'll go and get a little of the Ginza in the corner here. And in the corner. Move it around on the top. Okay. Focus. There. Alright. A shimmer eye with the color on the outside instead of on the middle or on the inner corner. I like the way it's turning out. Because now we have to go into eyeliner. Yeah, bring you back in for the eyeliner. So in eyeliner land, we always go here on our natural line and then go up. Make our eyes feline, open them up. What we're going to do is we're going to follow the slope down. We're not going to move the slope up and out. We're going to take this slope and keep going down the way it goes naturally and see how that looks. And we're also going to do the whole eye. I'm a little nervous. Oh, that was harder than I thought. Oh, jeez. It's hard to draw the line down. As a matter of fact, that doesn't look right. But not too far. Okay. That's better. See, I'm still going downwards, but I didn't do it right because I was like going from under and it made it look weird. I need to go from the top so that it actually looks like a line. And I'll just extend it a little and then meet the ends like that. There. A downward slope. That's new, isn't it? Well, let's try to do the other eye. There. That sure did take a while. Well, let's do some touch-ups. Okay. Here's my downward sloped eye. It's actually pretty. And my giant eye pencil and this to kind of fill in the gaps in the top waterline and stuff. And then maybe on the bottom. And to smooth it out, really. Smooth out the top. Especially in here. We're going to go a little further into the corner. Better, right? The thing is, okay, so I usually go from here to here, but I don't go in the inner corner. What if I went from here, but then I went straight out? And I've seen other people do that. They've done, like, gone from here to here to go straight out to open up this part of the eye. So it's not like I'm pulling it out of thin air. It's something people do. I just don't do it. It just looks like a spot. We're gonna get rid of that. We're just gonna sweep it tentatively around the bottom. Ooh, that's good. Let's do that. We'll just leave the back open. We usually do a little connecting here. We're gonna leave that open. And we're just gonna move that to the water line like that. Oops, too close to the back. Head to the back. Gonna keep my pants down real low. That's how I like it. Hey, trying something new is certainly working out. Like it. Throw some mascara on it, and then you can back up. Wow. I feel like my eyes look bigger than before. My eyes look bigger than before, don't they? I should have been did this. Look how big my eyes look. So there it is. New technique. Downward slope, keeping the back open, taking the color only around the outside and lining all the way to my upper contact with a straight brow. And the rest of the face is going to be pretty standard because my lip, I vary how I do that, I think. And so there's nothing else really. So let's finish the face and I'll be right back. I won't be right back. So let me just talk about it. I'm going to use Ada out of the Masquerade palette as my blush. I would have used Zulu, but it's a little more orangey brown. Ada's a little more cherry brown, which I think will go well since I have red eye makeup on. Maybe we could, oh, maybe, And we're going to apply it wider than normal. We're going to take it all the way down here. Alright. And then we'll use the side to blend it out. Maybe that was a little too wide. My under eye's looking a little sad, so we're going to throw some concealer on it. Use our finger. So I brought the blush further in than I usually do unless I'm going all the way across the face. It's like really rosy actually. That brown is super rosy on the face. So that's Ada, ladies and gentlemen, from the Masquerade palette. A beautiful cherry brown. When you put it on your face, it comes out more cherry. Ooh. Ooh. Lip time! So we're going to do the base, which is, there we go with these names again, Sexy Siren. It also helps me brush away any dead skin. I don't think it means to, but I appreciate it. And so, after doing something else, I usually put it right up to the lip line. We're going to put it on top of the lip line. I never go all the way to the perimeter of my mouth. I don't know. I just don't. Now we're going to add the color. I'm going to use Double Shot by Maybelline. I'm really into this color these days. Ah! Beautiful. And we're done. Changing the technique of my makeup. It came out really well. I like it. A little downward slope eye. I really like that. After I saw some people doing that, I was like, you know, I just realized I never really put it down. Like, I used to follow the line under just a bit, but I never took it all the way down like that. And look at how it made my eye open. I thought for some reason that it would do the opposite. But isn't that the importance of testing things out? I'm really glad that this came out the way it did. I'm glad I decided to experiment with techniques outside of my normal comfort zone. It's always nice to just try something new, whether it be color, style, technique. Yeah, so we did our delicate dark girl makeup with new techniques. The lip though isn't that new. I've done this before, so trying new things doesn't always lead to the best results. Anyway, that's it. Bye. There. This is in the bathroom lighting, so that it's a little more even than when I'm sitting by the window. But there we go. Bye.